that's the homie. But when it comes to like a player, right? You're talking about a player that can score it, a player that can get to the free throw line, a player that can pass it out of pick and roll. A lot of people were going under on D-Wade pick and rolls. I ain't go front. Like, you feel me? A lot of people was letting D-Wade have that. Yes, does D-Wade have clutch gene? You're absolutely right. Yes, at times have we seen D-Wade be more clutcher than James Harden? Yes, we have. But when you talk about a better player, like James Harden is a better player than Dwayne Wade, right? And people get it confused because they think about the way he won a championship, and you can't take that away, right? But championship is a team, right? That's a team award. I'm talking about individual award. Who's a better player? And you have to go individually. You have to go with James Harden. I don't even think it's no disrespect to AI and Dwayne Wade. I don't even think it's close. Like I think James Harden really might be probably one of the best scorers this game has ever seen. I think we need to applaud that.
I don't understand how you can have a conversation about me and state facts when you're not as good as me. Pat Bev came out and just talked about me. And James, another conversation with me and James.
Like, James Harden is a better player than Dwayne Wade.
Pat just came out definitive. He was definitive. James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade.
Stop.
He was very definitive in his answer. And I was just sitting there like, okay, Pat, what's your facts?
Right.
To say that someone's better, or just come out and say what I personally like, the style of play that I like to see.
That's a great way to say
X, Y, and Z. Don't you ever fix your mouth to say nobody is better than me when you wasn't better than me. Like, you can't do that. Like, you talk about a better player, you're talking about every aspect of the game of basketball. You know how good I was at a lot of aspects of the game?
Out here woofing it with the hair. I know I wear a hat so much in the winter. People are like, you go here, you probably bald. Nah, nigga. I got my hair. But let's talk about Dwayne Wade, man. He fired back at Patrick Beverly. And, you know, Patrick Beverly need to be worried about them brads who stole his podcast. David Poinal and that little battle rapper, whatever his name is, he was doing a podcast with, and they replaced him with White Chocolate, Jason Williams. So he got gangbanged by Brad. And what did he do to start getting traction? First thing he did was, you know, he started, you know, going at another brother. You feel what I'm saying? Well, you know, Harden is better than Dwayne Wade, and okay, whatever. You know, the one thing about it is this, you know, I'm can separate Dwayne Wade, personal preferences and all that stuff with hooping. Harden ain't never been the best player in the league. And I'm gonna say this, when Dwayne Wade won that first championship in Miami, he was the best player in the NBA. I don't care what nobody say, he was the best player in the NBA. I know the refs helped. That dude averaged like 40 regardless. He averaged about 40 in the finals, bro. Shaq was a decoy at best, no disrespect. Wade was, like, when they always talk about basketball, I think somebody made a comment, you can't be the MVP only averaging 24. I don't know. I think Udonis Haslam said, man, dude, basketball is so much more. Basketball is so much more than scoring, bruh. You know, you can't be MVP if you act like, bruh, it's not the scoring title. You know what I'm saying? I understand the game is to put the ball in the hole, but guess what? What if you make everybody around you better? That's why I always stand on this. When Kid was in Jersey, he probably should have had 2 MVPs. They don't talk about defense. They don't talk about facilitating, making people better. All they points. And they don't talk about victories and what you do in winning time. You know, that's very important. Harden, if you had one game for your life on the line, who you picking your team to be the best player on your team between Harden and Wade? I'm picking Wade. Wade gonna show up. That's what I do know. Wade gonna show up. Wade gonna stop the other guy. Wade gonna go get a bucket. Wade can make the big shots. Wade ain't fumbling the ball in the playoffs versus the Warriors 2 games in a row. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Harden is a tremendous regular season talent. So yeah, man, defense, man. I know Harden, you know, Wade gonna defend, and you know he ain't gonna choke in the big moments. So I mean, to me, it ain't no thing, man. You know, Patrick Beverly trying to get back in the algorithm after he was cleared, but this ain't it. You know, then people want to ignore, like, they continue wanting to ignore what you do in winning time. Anything to do with wins, they would replace winning with with deep analytics or analytical stuff. Man, I give a hell about that plus minus bullshit. Is you gonna win or you not? If you win the championship and you take a 28 shots a game and that's working for you, I don't care nothing about being efficient. Fuck is this what is this? You know, a workplace improvement or something like that? Are you winning or not winning? However you do it. You know, Kevin Martin had one of the more ugliest jump shots in history, but he got buckets. He got buckets. So this whole thing where they trying to, you know, replace winning and with analytics and get out of here, man. That happened because LeBron kept losing, so they had to make him the GOAT by justifying his losing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, it's a team game and that, like, get out of here, man. Anybody in their right mind that know a lick about basketball know Dwayne Wade is by far a better player. That's a fact. Like, come on. I was talking about, oh, how many points you score and how many this, like, get out of here, man. Do you win or don't you win? Do you defend? Can you score? What you do when the game is on the line? What you do in the biggest moments of your career? We know what Wade gonna do. And, you know, to the point, a lot of people rub when Wade said the wrong way. He said, you can't talk about who better than me. You ain't better than me. I ain't mad at it. Pop your shit. Pop your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like you, Pat Beverly, you barely was in the league, my ninja. You talking on me? I love it from Wade. Pop your shit, man. These dudes, sometimes you gotta let people know. Sometimes you gotta let people know. People be forgetting and they, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta remind them Wade was it. Wade is one of the best two guards I ever seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? So even in college, that last year Marquette, he was fired. And Harden is a good ball player, but at the end of the day, when it boiled down to win it, man, Harden, you don't want Harden on your team. Harden jump around looking for a championship, but he the reason why you don't win a championship. Let's keep it real. If he did his part against that Thunder and Miami series, they'll have a championship. He didn't do his part. And that's been the narrative of his whole career. When you need him in the biggest moments, he ain't there. Remember one time they got eliminated by the Spurs in the playoffs using Houston, and they rested Kawhi Leonard for Game 7, which is crazy, resting your best player in the closeout game. And the Spurs still won. And then after the game, James Harden is seen at the liquor store buying liquor. You don't care about winning, man. This dude care about, you know, that's why I like being in Houston. He care about the hoes. I ain't mad at it. But, you know, yeah, I give it to him. He's changed his game over the years, being a six-man, you know, being a point guard, getting buckets, ball dominant scorer. Then he turned into a really good facilitator. I mean, when you talk about it, the talent is there. He's not really a freak athlete. He's athletic, crafty, you know, can bang on you in his prime a little bit. But, you know, to be honest with you, I'm still taking guys, and people going to probably disagree with me, I'm still taking a guy like Ray Allen over him at the two-guard position. You know, I'm still taking Ray. But I'm young enough to remember, and I'm a Piston fan, I'm young enough to remember young Ray Allen. So when he had it all, handles, midi, bang on you, defender, can facilitate a little bit, still a great shooter. I'm young enough to remember that Ray Allen. You know, I'm young enough to remember him. So that you know, but I feel Wade, man, it's tired of the disrespect. Like, Jesus Christ. You know, a lot of people say, oh, it's just nostalgia. This is just nostalgia. This, that, and just like we tell it, I mean, no offense to the current NBA, but it's trash. Talent level is trash, and ain't that many good players. Y'all think they good players, but y'all don't know what y'all watching. They trash. It's only a handful of really elite players. You know, especially when you start getting into durability and stuff. You know, when we grew up in the NBA, league pass in the 90s would have been, oh my gosh, chef kiss. The league had a lot of talent. It was hard to put together a real solid top 25 list because you had so many different guys you could put in that list. You know what I'm saying? So, but hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram. Spotify, everything inside the link tree. It's the first link in the description. Said find me everywhere. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Peace.